Someone I made 2 previous videos on, Vexium Swift, has been getting a massive amount of hate towards them, and I would not have really wanted to even defend them, but to point out just the hypocrisy people are showing when speaking about this topic in the fandom. And also along the way in this rabbit hole, I also want to speak about tons of horrid stuff that I managed to find out while looking through this war zone of people. This is a new long fall.
Up there, you thought you had a chance. Way up in the skies, you thought you had your finger on the trigger. But hermano, down here. Down here. You hit the ground.
I never believed that kid off.
Vex is completely irrelevant. Like,
I'm gonna
when he air quote canceled me in his YouTube video.
So today we're going to be discussing a lot of hypocrisy centered around Vexium Swift, apparently for being a horrific person and an example, despite the fact that there is literally an entire community of people that do equally similar stuff, or even worse, and do not receive any sort of flack from the exact same type of individuals that are targeting Vexium. There is even a conspiracy level to this. It's delusional, but let me slowly get through to starting with Twitter drama. Seeing this stuff happen, I immediately got myself a bottle of vodka, cranked the Northern Boys, and decided to investigate.
I never believed that kid off.
This drama all became sparked thanks to an artist by the name of Optical, who is mutuals with Korgs. We'll be speaking about them later, and trust me, you will want to stick around for what they've done. Now, Optical was brought up and compared to Vexium Swift. Optical posted a comic showing their Sona cringing at the preview of Vexium's channel. However, while I do agree with Optical on the fact that Vexium's channel is cringe, that's subjective and it's not for me. But where Optical stepped over the line was when they attempted to paint Vex in unimaginable amount of lights. A lot of comments under this tweet have similar thing of kicking the dead horse about Vexium Twitter drama, and of course we'd see this person here. We'll talk about that degenerate later, but Optical continued with a tweet of recommendations. Let's have a quick read of them, will we? Because clearly this person, despite being an artist on Twitter, seemed to know all the ins and outs of YouTube. Now, to be very clear, I want to preface this so everybody knows, Vexium does YouTube full time. His videos are meant to be specifically curated towards the algorithm and popularity, unlike some of my content, which I upload infrequently yet is more on niche topics that slowly gain and have people enjoy and learn something. His is purely for, I say, monetary gain and kind of algorithm type stuff. Despite Vexium blocking Optical, they felt the need to blast a list of unwanted criticisms about Vexium's content. You upload suggestive content to YouTube, a site mostly comprised of underage viewers without any age restriction on your content. The response to that is simply, the thing is about this is other YouTubers upload way or similar levels of suggestive content, and usually bigger audiences on the same topics that Vexium makes videos on. Secondly, as I've seen and Vexium has showed me, Vexium applies age gates and actively puts safeguards to keep these content 18+. Vex knows his content is suggestive and actively tries to stop minors from interacting. Vex by any means doesn't invite underage individuals to watch his videos and interact with them, and is normally repulsed by them. Blocking any minors who interact, it's quite clear they actually do block. Their block list is massive, is all I'll say. Even I was a victim to it. Now see, where you are drifting into the line is when you're asking Vexium to age restrict his videos, which is a completely different matter. It essentially kneecaps his only source of income. Imagine PayPal or Ko-fi taking 85% of your profits and made you age gate all your transactions. That's exactly what you were doing to Vex, or you're asking Vex to do to themselves, is to kneecap their profits. You've previously promoted videos on Discord servers, also full of kids, without caring who gets affected by your content. Now, from what I've seen, Vexium promoted his content in appropriate channels on these Discord servers, that being, your run-of-the-mill promote yourself channels. See, while these channels act as a way to promote yourself, that's all. The responsibility of the creator ends when someone makes the choice, an active choice, to click on that video, because they do have a choice to do that. However, you seem to portray it as Vex is forcing these children to click on videos, or specifically looking for non-18 spaces to spread videos in, which just is not correct. You've complained before about kids finding your public AD account, but you don't hold the same mindset when it comes to YouTube. Vexium frequently speaks on this issue of minors exploring his AD, as they publicly express their view on their account that they have been clearly warned not to explore or interact with the account due to their age, quite obviously. which Twitter has its own policies. The thing about Vex's YouTube and AD Twitter is that they are vastly different and two completely differently segregated individual entities, with specifically what different content appears on either site. And he's very open about his content. He advises minors that the YouTube content is suggestive, even with appropriate censoring with suggestive content itself. Along with that, Vex has a Twitter filter by which any account registered under the age of 18 received an immovable, not safe for work, logo or banner that completely blurs and blocks off all images and videos that contain actual pornography. But I just want to say, since you have a massive gripe with Vexium regarding this, I wanted to mention the hypocrisy when it comes to this. Here are a few YouTubers that do similar things that violate your degree of NSFW. Oda, who is a 17-year-old who, while his thumbnails are better now, had changed all of them following the video that I made on Vexio, calling him out and echoing the exact same talking points that you were doing. We can see some of the older videos on Oda's channel haven't been changed, and this was the trend they're following. Now, here's someone even worse. August Memes, who is a worse offender on this level, has unaltered genuine pornography in his thumbnails, and you do nothing about it. August's videos are in fact so bad, when someone tried to even view the screenshot that Vexium had posted online, he was hit with a Twitter NSFW filter, essentially disallowing him from watching the video. Hell, even under your talking points, Quite, a major YouTuber with over 2 million subs, would be liable for suggestivity thanks to a lot of their thumbnails. This is why you are targeting and using Vexium as a scapegoat to this, and it's fucking stupid. Now, you noticed I haven't mentioned two big names, Korgs and Barley the Cat. Let's get into the first one.
I never believed that kid off.
Barley the Cat is a 25-year-old furry YouTuber who makes very similar content to Vex, furry meme content. Now, in Vexium's previous video that he made on the situation, he speaks about the previous incident Barley has had with the fact he's shown NSFW content to children. He assumed that everyone in a Discord call that he was showing his private folder filled with pornography, that they were 18, when someone actually spoke up and mentioned they were 15. Now, we've also received new information regarding this happening again. Now, allegedly Barley streamed gay furry dating simulators in an open Discord VC without any sort of age gating, with Barley's friends, C. Nathan or Sean, being with them at the exact time. I'd also like to mention the fact that in Vexium video that I ended up making a statement for, Barley had agreed to give a statement.
Yeah, I feel fine. I see your point of view. I don't hate you anymore. I'm kidding. I'll unblock you. I might come around to following you back. As far as like a statement goes, I'll give you a statement, and I'll apologize for things I know, I guess, that I'm in like the wrong for. Let me like process and get like a good like response out, and I'll send it to you. I'll message you. I need to go real quick. It was great talk. Nice chatting to you again, Vex. I will potentially talk to you more in the future.
Yet failed to actually produce one and would later refuse to give an actual statement to Vex for his part to play in weaponizing me against Vex. This purely shows you how Barley's inability to actually give or take accountability for his actions. He's shown to be continuously spineless. Even in the next audio clip he sent someone following Vexium's original video months ago. The video that quite literally told the world how he showed pornography to children.
Vex is completely irrelevant. Like,
Fucking...
when he air quote canceled me in his YouTube video, I never got a single comment about how terrible of a person I was. Not one from his video. Nobody actually watched the video.
Not only this, but he began making content on a secondary channel, including more VR content and doing bathtub streams where he does not know the ages of his viewers and where he speaks about very, very NSFW stuff, including preying on straight men.
See, that's the one thing. That's like, tall guys will literally make me weak. I know that like you're straight, but like if we ever did hang out in person, ugh.
The fact that regardless of your sexuality, if you're a tall man, Barley would constantly have a hard on for you. I also now want to speak about my personal experience with Barley. Also, about the fact that I had privated the two videos I had made on Vexium. Barley had become quite angry with me and had then eventually removed me entirely from his and his friends' Discord, Twitter and absolutely everything. Yet, I was fighting 6 different people's battles with that video, and essentially since the video had failed, I had proved my uselessness to Barley and he would eventually get rid of me. This is unfortunately a very familiar thing, as Barley's boyfriend would essentially be dumped following Barley admitting to him that he had shown his personal folder to a minor all that time ago. Once this person knows exactly what Barley's done or what he's like, Barley just removes them. Along with that, a previous partner of Barley's is apparently currently owed thousands in debt by Barley. That really does show you how much they can use someone. This is also just a point as to why I'm making this video. So you call Vexium out and it does nothing. It means nothing, and where there are 10 or more doing the exact same thing, if not even worse. You can say I'm making stupid arguments, but if your opinions are based on the fact that someone shouldn't be suggestive or NSFW in an open space, why aren't you going after Barley, or God forbid, even worse person I'm about to speak about?
I never believed that kid off.
Korgs is a 17-year-old comic artist and ex-Furry Struggles YouTube creator who creates mostly artwork and comics surrounding their hatred of how adults are ruining the fandom because the fandom hates minors. This fandom doesn't hate minors, it just hates minors who self-insert themselves into sexual spaces, like you, Korg. Also, Korgs uses any pronoun, so that's why I may flip-flop back and forward in this video. Korgs is 17 years of age, and this is very important because at the age of 17, he had an AD account, or an After Dark account, essentially a pornography account. This is literally having an account legally filled with child pornography. Korgs would then double back on themselves saying, oh, just for keeping the no, so nobody takes it, or to be impersonated. Shut up. Nobody is that obsessed with you, you self-absorbed shithead. He then triples down and changes the to Korg's art account to try hide the fact that they were going to start an AD at 17. This is the exact same thing that Call Me Carson was booked for, interacting or sexually explicitly interacting with someone under the age of 18, even though they were only 19. See, they apologized for this in a series of videos I'll show you, but here's my favorite clip.
Okay, this one's for the AD. Okay, it's so funny how out of the water Twitter has blown this whole AD account thing. It was quite literally just an @hogger. It was to avoid impersonation.
Who the fuck are you trying to impersonate? Napoleon Dynamite? With the Vexium and Korgs drama dialing down in mid-May, Korgs and Vexium seemed to have a truce. Like how Kim Il-sung and Syngman Rhee signed the treaty to end the Korean War. The reason I make this comparison is because much like North Korea, Korgs kept slinging shit, kept talking, kept infighting, and kept drama stirring while Vexium stayed completely silent. Korgs even posted 4 different Twitter videos from his parents' kitchens explaining how he was wrong the entire time, and during the apology videos, he was just smiling and laughing as if he's a dumbass. Korgs was the main repository I used to gather information on Vexium. While this truce was in effect, they were uploading video after video, pivoting the argument to make Vexium look like an awful person in a server that was essentially a fucking snake pit. It's often that Korgs does this when calls out either, ew, you're an adult hating on kids. They pivot with videos like how he did with Vexium, or they pull the trans card, and I fucking hate it when they pull the trans card. Regardless, while this truce was happening, Korgs went into Vexium's friend circle and begun to share the video of him saying the N-word, or saying, I'm an audiophile, essentially attempting to poison the waters around Vexium and make people in his friend group leave him. Most of his time spent on Twitter was just to slander Vex purely, even kicking a 15-year-old out of the fandom completely. So Nexify was an application made by an individual by the name of Mitchell. Now Mitchell was 15 years of age while building this application. The discussions surrounding the application broke down between the management side of things and the actual development side, along with the fact that individuals such as Korgs called out the application due to the fact that they were uneasy at the fact that 15-year-old was the CEO of it. Also, seeing this publicly gaining traction, Korgs would then release tons of screenshots of their interactions with this 15-year-old. They frequently state that they were the only one to say not to harass anyone, yet that never fucking works.
The whole you bullied a kid offline, I was the only one who said to not harass Mitch. So it's all good in that regard. Me and Mitch are A-okay. But I never bullied that kid offline. I did mishandle their grooming situation. I agree 100%. That's mainly what I apologized for.
It's funny that they say, oh, it's all good, we're good friends now. No, you're not. No one would ever be friends with you after that. Literally. This person, Mitchell, is simply scared of you because you essentially bullied a child. You're fucking stupid. So even in this, Vexium speaks at length about this situation in his own video that I will have linked below. But Korgs did in fact bully this child off the internet. So he's all for minors being in the fandom just so he can manipulate and bully them, having this sense of superiority over them. They frequently say how much Mitchell and them are mutuals on Twitter, and they're all good, but that really does not mean anything. Because you just wrote some stupid apology that was placing you as the victim, and you've hurt Mitchell more than ever, and you've forced him out of the fandom. Now this part is confirmed, and gets even worse for Korg, so remember how they had an AD, yet had no images? This is 10 times worse. Korgs for a long time has continuously made pornographic art as a 17-year-old. His character, who is 17 by nature, was the age since it was never stated differently anywhere else. Some of these images include images where you can see their pulsating, puckering asshole, their character being fucked senseless by a knotted cock, you dirty fucking feral lover. Due to the age of Korgs and the nature of these images, they would be considered cub art, and it's not the first time he's made extremely suggestive artworks. He's gotten into controversy over pup hoods, saying that they aren't kink gear after he drew his 17-year-old character in pup gear, and expected nobody to be angry. A pup hood is part of puppy life fetish. While it's not exclusively a gay fetish community, while it can be used for non-sexual things, so can 90% of other sex toys. But that doesn't mean whisking my birthday cake with a vibrating dildo makes it any less sexual of an item. When you Google pup hood, the first thing that comes up in the name is adult in the title. That should show you if it's meant to be worn or used by minors. Okay, cool, glad we have that fleshed out. Along with all this, Korg continued to say Vexium isn't slandered and deserves all of this criticism, yet has received the constant notion that you are pushing that he's a paedophile. You've insinuated this and constantly said it, so that other brainless cunts running with that notion that you've set. I also love to round this back to the hypocrisy for Optical, to be a Twitter mutual with Korgs, actively follow them and be friends with them proves just that your entire point is wrong. It's not one rule for Vexium and one rule for Korgs. If you want to judge purely Vexium and allow other harmful creators to prey, that shows where your value lies.
I never believed that kid off.
My conclusion for this video is that Optical's comic and content they've posted was wrong. Vexium is no better created, but he is, and many others have the financial incentive to do so, or do it in general. Does this mean it's correct? No. I don't like the content, but seemingly some do. But your allegiance and overall care for purely targeting Vexium when you have Korgs making porn of themselves of a 17-year-old and barely routinely showing non-safe for work porn to a minor in private Discord channel is astounding. Your mindset of targeting one person is how actual predators have slipped through the cracks and continue to do so. In conclusion, fix your shit.